Hey, this is Ari Vandersloos. I'm a junior at Miami Valley, and I wanted to share with you something I read and some of my thoughts about what I read in my American history book. So I'm going to read you the excerpt in my book that really struck my eye. It's called Terrorism Comes to America. On September 11th, 2001, the long era of America's impregnable national security violently ended. On a balmy late summer morning, suicidal terrorists slammed two hijacked airliners loaded with passengers and jet fuel into the Twin Towers of New York City's World Trade Center. They flew a third plane into the military nerve center of the Pentagon, near Washington, D.C., killing 189 people. Heroic passengers forced another hijacked aircraft to crash in rural Pennsylvania, killing all 44 aboard, but depriving the terrorists of a fourth weapon of mass destruction. As the two giant New York skyscrapers thunderously collapsed, 3,000 innocent victims perished, including people of many races and faiths from more than 60 countries, as well as hundreds of New York's police and fire department rescue workers. A stunned nation blossomed with flags as grieving and outraged Americans struggled to express their sorrow and solidarity in the face of the catastrophic terrorism of 9/11. So, when I read this, a few things caught my eye. Why did they decide to attack our country in the first place? What were they looking for? Why were we looked at as an enemy? But I would argue that this paragraph actually answers that. In the words, it says, some 3,000 innocent victims perished, including people of many races and faiths from more than 60 countries. The reason America suffered this horrific attack was not because we have a certain value. It's not because we have one value at all. It's because we have thousands of different values. It's our melting pot culture that really gives us something unique that no one else has. No other country has. Like, just take our US history class, for example. In our class, we have Christians and Jews, we have Buddhists, we have African Americans, we have Chinese students. We have a completely diverse class. We live in this completely diverse world, and it's unmatched anywhere else in the world. Our ideals are so incredibly different, and that into some societies, including these religious extremists, we are looked at as almost scary or terrifying. We are so one of a kind that it's frightening. But this idea of difference being punished is not unique to it's not unique at all to us. Throughout history, it's been an issue. It's always been the sole reason for treachery. For example, in World War II, the Jews were prosecuted because they were not of the Aryan race. They were different. They were considered the other. Even in American history, black people were enslaved for hundreds of years simply because they weren't white. Today, people are being punished for being gay. Homosexuals are getting beat up, injured, and even killed simply for being different. And these bullies, I argue that the reason they're bullying is because they're just completely terrified of these individualities, this uniqueness. They're completely scared of how different people are, that the only option for them is destruction. I At our school, it's so opposite. We celebrate our differences, and that but in the world, people look at these differences and do things like fly planes into towers and kill thousands of people. They think these differences are something to be ashamed of, or worse, just to completely take out. If only people saw these dissimilarities between people or entire countries as something to be cherished, like we do, rather than oppressed, this destruction, it would be put to an end completely. History would stop repeating itself. we see, as I said before, everywhere in history is this issue, has this issue come up, and right now everywhere in the world. I think if there's one thing to take out of all of these situations, it's that destruction isn't the answer for these dissimilarities. If only it would be incredible if the world cherished them like we do at our school. Thank you.